A very interesting threat sent from the manager of the Authors of Pain. In Maverick's eyes, AOP is destined for Armageddon. Benjamin has a steel chair in his hands and oh my goodness! What the hell's overcome the gold standard here tonight? And the Viper is going to respond to Roman Reigns, and he accepts it as well. Roman Reigns versus Randy Orton is go. Hello and welcome Universe Mode. This isn't Monday, is it? But it is Raw. That's what matters the most, and we are here for another big episode of Monday Night Raw. The attention turns towards the red brand, as it has the next brand exclusive pay-per-view coming up just over a week from now at Armageddon. The big question has to be asked, what is going to happen on that fateful night when we already know some of the big matches taking place that evening? Just what is going to happen there, and what is going to happen here tonight? What we do know is we're going to be starting off this evening by hearing from CM Punk. Punk made his return 2 weeks ago on Raw. Apparently has something he wants to say, get off his chest here tonight. We'll find out. It's going to be starting off this episode of Monday Night Raw. So that's some pretty interesting news coming our way, but it's going to be a pretty big main event again here on Raw. The former United States Champion Lars Sullivan trying to break his duck since losing his US title by going one-on-one against the World Heavyweight Champion, Sting. The first time we've actually seen Sting, I believe, since Survivor Series. So that is pretty interesting to come in the main event, but here comes the man who made his return 2 weeks ago against Lars Sullivan. It is CM Punk. And I wonder what is on the mind of the 5-time world champion here tonight. Just what does he have to say to the Monday Night Raw crowd and all attending? It has been a pretty interesting time for Punk, of course, before SummerSlam and what happened at it. And he's bringing it up there, saying this is his return since what happened at SummerSlam, saying that it was basically a roadblock in his life, just like that match ended up being. But he always knows that in life you have to overcome it and look at what is going to happen next, because that is how life is. It is a journey. I agree with Punk on that one. You know, when he suffered that defeat, it kind of doesn't surprise me that he felt that way, in all fairness. It was a tough loss to sustain, but Punk saying it himself, you gotta move on. And that is exactly what he's doing here and now. He has a match set for Armageddon, but he does not want to be the one to decide it in that regard. He wants to have an open challenge. He wants to face anyone, and he doesn't want to have bad blood with them, unless their name is Marty Scurll. However, who will accept the challenge that CM Punk is putting out on the table? Oh, well, that's just perfect. That is the perfect man to respond to the challenge. It is none other than Daniel Bryan, and that is huge. That is amazing. I can't think of any other words right now off the top of my head to describe it, but that is... well, I think Daniel Bryan's catchphrase sums up that. Yes, yes, yes. Bryan and Punk at Armageddon, you kidding me? That sounds like... well, that sounds like an incredible match. That sounds like something that I would absolutely adore to witness. Between two of the very best, not only on Monday Night Raw, but in the world, in terms of their in-ring talent. There's no doubt about it. And Daniel Bryan is on about actually relating to CM Punk a little bit with that loss to Marty Scurll that he suffered a payback, but he is going to bounce back from it as well. And he thinks the best way to move forward, much the same as how Punk was talking about, is to accept this challenge and put on one classic match at Armageddon. It's happening. It is happening, everyone. Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk is happening. And CM Punk cannot wait for the match either. You can tell there's mutual respect between these two being shared in this ring. They know each other so well, and they share so much in common with each other that they cannot wait for this match. And I share the same belief as them. I can't wait for it either. But Bryan's saying to not be all friendly with each other, not be all buddy-buddy. In the end, they're going to have to face each other one-on-one. They only look at this as a wrestling match, not a popularity contest of who likes each other the more. As a result of that, Bryan knows that for that match, they got to be professional with each other. They got to realize that the profession they're in does not always give room for friendship, and Punk is realizing it. Punk needs to get used to that professionalism in that regards. And they want to make it official. They want to sign it off, basically, for next weekend at Armageddon. Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk. Just say yeah. That's all you need to do, is just say yes. And Daniel Bryan has made a career out of saying yes, so why not? And Bryan is certainly going to accept it. The thought of the match gives him chills up his spine. And the very thought of that match taking place is enough to make him agree to it. So Daniel Bryan quite easily and quite happily agrees. Yes, yes, yes. We are on. Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk. And CM Punk basically just repeating what I said, but they two of the best in the world, though. One-on-one at Armageddon. It is going to be something else. This is something that you do not want to miss. This is something that you are not going to forget either when it takes place. This is something that is going to be remembered for quite a while. This isn't about a brawl like we saw it Fully Loaded. This is about a wrestling match, and a damn good one at it. And Daniel Bryan, well aware that now is the time for training. Now is the time to get yourself ready for this match. He wishes Punk good luck. We cannot wait for this contest. And I think there is an air of it. But even though he wishes him luck, Daniel Bryan's going to be the one hoping that he's the winner of it. And there you have it. Both men very happy with what has transpired here, as am I. CM Punk versus Daniel Bryan at Armageddon. What a way to kick things off. Absolutely no doubt about it. That is how you start strong. And, well, that's only made me want more. That's only made me want to see the match now. And it's only made me want to see Armageddon more as well to go along with it. So great job there, all things considered. Well, that evening, next Sunday, is going to be a big one, no doubt. But it is time to kickstart the action here on Monday Night Raw. And we're doing so with a tag team match between the Ascension and American Alpha. A very important tag match here. The Ascension, no slouches. Former ECW tag team champions, of course. 2-time, I believe it is. And American Alpha, of course, the current World Tag Team Champions to go along with it. This is like I said, this is an important bout because last week you saw it at the top of the show. A threat was set out to American Alpha by the new manager to the Authors of Pain and Drake Maverick, warning them of what could be to come at Armageddon, and essentially in some ways putting out a challenge. I'm not sure if that is going to be accepted or not. I'm not too sure if American Alpha have accepted the challenge or not since then. What I do know is that American Alpha are still competing here tonight regardless of it, and I think there's a mentality to them that almost kind of just doesn't think about it in a strong regard, because they always have a target on their back, you know. A challenge being sent their way is kind of like breathing air to American Alpha. They always have it happening. There's always a target on their back because of the titles that they have around their waists. But if the threat is coming from a duo like the Authors of Pain, then that is a very dangerous ordeal to have to put yourself into, because of how dangerous the duo of the Authors of Pain are. We've seen it already here on Monday Night Raw alone. Let alone the warpath they made for themselves on ECW. But American Alpha still seem in high spirits here tonight as they prepare for this match against the Ascension. Plenty of big things coming your way on this card. We've already discussed the main event. At some point here tonight we'll be hearing from Shelton Benjamin as well, in regards to his attack on Cesaro last week, which should be very interesting indeed, no doubt about it. Also going to be 2 #1 contender matches here tonight, so I'm looking forward how that one will go. Chad Gable starting things off against Connor of the Ascension here. Powerhouse of the Ascension starting things off against the more agile, acrobatic member of American Alpha. See how this one will go for either side. Connor trying to do everything in his power to get a roll-up victory early on there. Seems to be the case. Up on the shoulders now is Chad Gable, and it is the Ascension who have come out the gates with a little bit of a stronger start to them. They, of course, would love a bounce back here on this evening. They would love to get something from this, because things have not gone well for the Ascension in the last few months, really. I mean, their Monday Night Raw career started off with it had a pretty good kickstart to it. It felt like it was in good spirits, but then it just kind of slipped away from them, and things haven't been getting any better for them. Matter of fact, this could be the first time we've seen them under the new Raw general manager. I say new, but he's been around for almost 4 months. So, anyway, Jason Jordan. Oh, look at this. Northern Light suplex. Rolls through into another Northern Light suplex on corner there. He just barely got the shoulder up in time. This has not been a good start for the Ascension at all. They had those few moves at the start, but right now Jason Jordan commanding the match here. An Irish whip back into American Alpha territory. Tag made. Gable the legal man again. Look at these frequent tags being made by American Alpha now. Just controlling the match. Dictating it in the pace that they want to. That's how tag team champions operate. That's how you get a successful reign. That's how you make yourself... well, huge, really. That's the word that I'm looking for. That's how you make yourself the very greatest tag team out there. Connor standing alone in the ring right now. Victor got knocked to the outside by Jason Jordan. Chad Gable taking care of business in the ring as well. He's going to go up high here. Will this pan out the way he wants it to? Cannonball from that top rope. Gable completely in control of this one right now. Maybe a bit of commentator's curse there. No, because Connor's still getting countered. Good kick in the legs there by Chad Gable. Victor pulling himself up on the apron. He really wants to get in this match. And no surprise that that is the case either, because the Ascension, like I said, they're craving a victory bad. And not only that, but a victory over the tag team champions. You kind of quell any kind of an Authors of Pain discussion, because at the end of the day, well... if the Ascension win here tonight, then they kind of de facto become the #1 contenders. That's just how it works. Good counter there by Chad Gable. Off the shoulders of Connor he comes there. They're still going at it though with one another. Good forearm in the face. Oh, rolling wheel kick there from Gable. What a hit there from Gable that one was. And things are suddenly not looking up for the Ascension. Victor got this place back to the outside at some point, not too sure why. Maybe he's just given up. Oh, corner roll. German suplex from Gable. And that will do it for American Alpha here. Jason Jordan hits the ring, but this match is a foregone conclusion. American Alpha are victorious. Tag team champions soldier on with another win ahead of Armageddon. That, if anything, was a certified response to the Authors of Pain, as if to say, alright, if you're sending the challenge our way, we are ready for it. And that could be something interesting to take with Armageddon just so close now, just over a week away, mostly because, reasons. Nevertheless, Gable and Jordan, your winners. Will they be squaring off against the Authors of Pain, though? At that event, we'll be finding out, I hope, next week on Raw. As for tonight, a good win for them. But now we move on to our first of 2 #1 contender matches here tonight. And I swear, this man has paid off someone. How in the blue hell has Jinder Mahal got a #1 contenders match? Really? No, really? How? Someone please let me know how Jinder Mahal got a match. And not, I don't know, even Lars Sullivan, the former champion. Cassius Ohno, I know he's been losing as of late, but still. How? He beat Christian. That's it. He beat Christian. And sure, the excuse might be that because of heading into Survivor Series, he got a win over Hiroki Goto because of Lars Sullivan, but even then, that is weak. His opponent, maybe you could say he is deserving of a #1 contendership match in Bobby Roode. He's been proving himself. He's been putting in strong performances, and last week Roode beat, I'm trying to remember, well, 2 weeks ago Roode beat Cesaro. I don't think was he not in action last week? He might not have been in action last week. But that victory over Cesaro 2 weeks ago, nevertheless, certainly paved the way for this matchup here. But even then, there are a plethora of other talents maybe who could have been given the opportunity. But no, it's Mahal. Of all the people, Jinder Mahal. This guy's lost to everyone. I don't get it, but that has happened, I guess. Nevertheless, here comes his opponent, and the man who, if everything goes right, and if all the if normality wants to ensue, will be the one squaring off against Hiroki Goto at Armageddon. That would be a interesting first match for Goto as the US champ, because we saw Goto in action last week in the main event Monday Night Raw, had a thrilling contest with Hiroshi Tanahashi. Ended up, of course, coming out, though, with a defeat, as Tanahashi, well, he's the ace, and he is heading into a huge match next Sunday at Armageddon against Sting for the World Heavyweight title. Will Roode also be heading to Armageddon, though, to square off one-on-one against, of course, Hiroki Goto? We'll be finding that out in just a few moments. I think if it's Mahal, then we can chalk up a Goto defense, no problem at all. If it's Roode, I think it'll be a tougher match, but I still have my money on Goto in that moment. And no reason why, but there is Bobby Roode. It just hit my mind a moment ago that Jinder Mahal has the number one contenders match here because I'm going off the reason of he quote-unquote beat Goto. He's lost to Cassius Ohno, Sami Zayn. Those are just two I can think of off the top of my head. And they don't have this opportunity. Fair enough on Ohno. You know, he did lose at Survivor Series. He has lost some matches here and there. Sami Zayn has literally had one match on this brand and he won it. So, oh no, wait, he lost to Roman Reigns as well. Oh no, he lost to a guy who's already got a match at Armageddon. It's just a bit unfair that Mahal, of all people, has got this match with his associates at ringside. Turns out they're brothers. They're the Singh brothers. Found that out last week. You can tell how thrilled I was to know that. In case you're wondering, by the way, if any commentator bias is coming along that maybe I don't like Mahal. Yeah, you're right. We had to put up with this guy who, as world champion for 3 months at the start of this year. That was not an enjoyable time. That really wasn't an enjoyable time, actually. It was terrible. And then he went to SmackDown, and he was still there. And now he's back on Raw, and might be in a title picture if he wins here tonight. That is a dreadful thought. When you think of that, what is transpiring so far at Armageddon, we know that there's going to be Daniel Bryan versus CM Punk as of now. Randy Orton versus Roman Reigns. Hiroshi Tanahashi versus Sting. And then Jinder Mahal ends up on that card. Oh, Jesus. That's going to be a rough night. Nevertheless, Roode is taking care of business right now, as I pretty much beg him to do in a moment like this. Diamond's carry up there. No, transitioned into a neck breaker of sorts. Cover made here, trying to put him away, but early kick out for Mahal. As I said, Mahal did spend most of up until WrestleMania as the World Heavyweight Champion. Cashed in his Money in the Bank briefcase at Armageddon last year and became the World Champion there. Good lightning strike twice for Mahal in terms of winning a title at Armageddon. And he's got to win here tonight in order to make that a reality. Let's see what is going to happen right about now, though, between these two guys. Both guys kind of working a little bit slow. I think Roode's doing that to try and, because that's a little bit of how he wrestles. He likes to try and slow the pace down, systematically defeat his opponent, whereas Mahal is just useless in every single way and can't excel more than 4 miles an hour. Bobby Roode, though, doing a good job so far in this match, I do have to say. It feels as if he's had a lion's share of the offense more so than Jinder Mahal has. He's just got to try and convert that into a victory. Up on his shoulders here. Roode in, fireman's carry, cutter. And Mahal is on the back foot here a little bit. The taller, I believe stronger Mahal as well. Here we go now, going to look for a powerbomb maybe. No, great counter from Roode there. You could tell Mahal hadn't settled Roode correctly on his shoulders there, and then Roode was able to... Oh, what a counter from Roode! Completely took me off guard there, but what a counter that was. Shoulder tackle into a DDT. Spinebuster after it. Has Roode done enough to become the number 1 contender? No, there's a kick out at 2. Oh, but there could be only one move left to make him that number 1 contender. And Roode knows what it is. We all know what it is. Is Mahal prepared for it, though? Well, we are about to find out. Bobby Roode in position. Kick in the gut. Glorious DDT. Cover made. There's 2. Oh, you are kidding me. Jinder Mahal just kicked out of the glorious DDT. I cannot believe that just happened. That sounds like some bona fide bullshit, truth be told. Mahal now trying to take control here in this contest. I don't know how he's fighting back, but he is. Double under suplex. Foot of Bobby Roode, though, underneath that bottom rope. Mahal has suddenly really slowed down the pacing of this match. That's for certain. Roode, though, able to evade himself out of the way. Roll up by Roode now. Rolling up Mahal after the missed stomp. Will this be enough? Oh, it will be! Bobby Roode wins! I thought it was a foregone conclusion after that glorious DDT, but it was definitely there. Mahal didn't have it in him to keep on fighting. Roode did. And as a result, he has punched his ticket to Armageddon and to an opportunity at the United States Championship. Well, there you have it. It's going to be Bobby Roode versus Hiroki Goto for the US title just over a week from now at Armageddon. Now that's a match that I'm fine with. I will say that. We could talk more about that, but unfortunately we've got to move on here on Monday Night Raw. Busy show, and it's time to hear from a very, very interesting man right now in Shelton Benjamin. We all want to know one simple thing. Why did he do what he did with that steel chair to Cesaro last week on Monday Night Raw? Benjamin can read their minds, basically, saying that they hate him to be because of last week's actions, and Benjamin is fine with it. He says that the people were only holding him back and that he's going to be so much more successful without them. And like a good sportsman, like he believes himself to be, he has some explaining to do after what he did last week to Cesaro. Yeah, you're damn right you do. That was completely out of the blue for Benjamin. And he's saying that Cesaro isn't even the part of this. It is the people, it is the crowd. They cost him an opportunity to face Sting for the World Heavyweight title, blaming them for everything. Blaming them for why he fights pointless matches. He had to let his anger out at some point, but he was choosing the target that he had in his mind for so long. Of course, he's alluding back to Survivor Series when people had the chance to vote in, and everyone went for Tanahashi. Benjamin and Orton were left out to dry, and clearly Benjamin was not pleased with that one, but he is saying right there that Cesaro will feel the rage at Armageddon, as the match has already been made for that evening. Because Mr. Dredge has already let that happen, and we're going to be seeing Shelton Benjamin versus Cesaro then. But Benjamin is calling out Cesaro here tonight to face him in the ring. Well, that is a very interesting proposition indeed. But Benjamin knew that it wasn't going to happen, because Cesaro is still at home. He's recovering from the attack last week. And he's saying that people still have the nerve to cheer him because of him. Saying it's a sad world that they live in. They cheer the weak, but boo the real talent. And at Armageddon, that's going to change. Benjamin will show to everyone why he's the gold standard. Very much so a new attitude being possessed by Benjamin. And as a result of it, well, he thinks that he can go all the way here with this mentality. The gold standard side of Benjamin really emerging. Wait a minute, I've been told, oh my goodness! I didn't even get a chance to explain this, but this is what is happening right now. We're backstage. Randy Orton was doing in-ring action just now, but that has been halted by Roman Reigns. These two men due to fight at Armageddon, and Reigns getting his hands on Randy Orton right now. What the hell is this all about? Roman Reigns must have attacked him right from behind, sending Orton's head into that TV. And now him spearing him into it! Spearing him into that TV! Roman Reigns! What the... Why? I understand that there's a match at Armageddon between the pair of you, but why would you resort to something like that? Well, one thing's for certain, we can forget the match that Randy Orton was going to be in now, because, well, Orton needs medical help backstage, speared into that TV by Reigns. No remorse shown by Mr. Money in the Bank at all whatsoever. And it really shone through in that moment, and I think it's going to shine through when the hatred continues to brew over into Armageddon next Sunday. Randy Orton is going to be there, and I think Roman Reigns might be starting to bite off more than the big dog can chew. Because at the end of the day, the Viper can still coil itself around you and strangle you in a slow and painful ending. Nevertheless, we have to move on here. It is a Battle Royal incoming for the #1 contendership to the Raw Women's Championship. Who will face Asuka at Armageddon? A 6-woman Battle Royal coming your way. We've already seen Alexa Bliss make her entrance. Natalya and Carmella are standing there. And on top of that, we have Mandy Rose, Rosemary, and the in-ring debut of Sonya Deville happening in this one. So it'll be interesting to see how things go. But of course, we saw Rose last week. She was decimated by Rosemary. Who made her first match since Ronda Rousey. Rousey actually was going to be in this one, but she turned it down. Ronda Rousey believed that she still has more to learn before she can get that opportunity. Rousey said that she did not want to go straight for Asuka because she didn't think she was ready for it, which is a rather admirable thing to admit there by Rousey. You know, I'm not going to say if I agree or disagree with it, but if that's how she views herself, if that's how she views things, then that's fine with me. You know, go with that if you believe that to be the case. Nevertheless, here comes the woman who destroyed Mandy Rose last week and showed to everyone that she is here for a reason. And that reason is to get back her Raw Women's Championship. You better believe that Rosemary is going to stop at absolutely nothing to get her hands back on it either. We saw it last week, and I think we'll see it again here tonight. And with what happened at Fully Loaded 24 hours ago, that might give more reasoning for Rosemary to perhaps believe that she can make that happen. Nevertheless, here comes the woman making her debut. Here, we've seen her at ringside for Mandy Rose, and now she fights with Mandy Rose, I guess, but also against her in this Battle Royal. Sonya Deville. Could be a very interesting in-ring debut for her. How will it go? We await to find out. That's for certain. These 6 women all wanting this opportunity. As I said, Bliss, Natalya, Mandy Rose, Carmella, Rosemary, and Sonya Deville completing the field. Which one of these 6 women will get that opportunity, though? We are about to find out, because here we go. It'll be tough to keep my eye on this one, as it was with the Battle Royal on SmackDown Live not long ago, when that was it was only a 5-women one. Let's see what'll happen here. Already an elimination attempt being tried on Mandy Rose over there by Alexa Bliss, and Carmella's already gone. Oh, well, that is not the Princess of Staten Island's not going to be too pleased with that performance there. Immediately out of this thing, courtesy of Rosemary. No surprise that she was the one to get the elimination, though. Let's see what else will continue to happen here. Forearms and uppercuts, all sorts of strikes coming about in this ring right now. Big single knee face breaker there by Rosemary onto Sonya Deville. And now Natalya going after Rosemary. Mandy Rose and Alexa Bliss still squaring up with one another. Bliss 2 weeks ago on Monday Night Raw suffered a defeat to Ronda Rousey, and she gets rid of Mandy Rose right now. Wow, the women dropping quickly in this one, apparently. Very surprising to see that that was the case. Rose not able to bounce back from last week's defeat. And as a result, she is out of this one early on. Bliss and Rosemary, perhaps the two favourites you could say, already getting eliminations in this thing. Big angle slam there from, oh my goodness, Sonya Deville has completely obliterated the very concept of physics and how ropes work to go along with them. Absolutely outstanding. She really is dangerous in this ring. Axel Bliss thinking smart there to roll underneath that bottom rope. Natalya stopping herself against those ropes from going into the path of Rosemary. Sonya Deville now going to go after a downed Alexa Bliss. See how that one will work out for her. Meanwhile, Rosemary will try and eliminate Natalya. That's backfired on Deville because Bliss is trying to eliminate her. Two elimination attempts simultaneously taking place in this ring. Will either one of them get elimination though? Natalya hangs in and so does Sonya Deville. Good kicks there from Sonya, though. She's really showing her aggression against Natalya there. Bliss and Rosemary just kind of walking around each other. It's not like they wanted to fight there. It's like they were, I think they were trying to preserve themselves a little bit maybe and not exhaust themselves. Which is a smart tactic in a battle royal, and it shows the very well thought out mindset of the pair of them. But Rosemary going to look to eliminate her here. Rosemary looking to eliminate Bliss. Will she get what she wants? Trying to throw little Miss Bliss over that top rope. Rosemary and Sonya battling in the turnbuckle. Alexa hangs on in there. Sonya Deville is eliminated. Natalya with the elimination. That is 3 different eliminations in this one. 3 different women. The women that stand in this ring right now with an elimination each. Not happening like with Nikki Cross on SmackDown Live a few weeks back. Look at the power of Natalya there, though. Rosemary still staying underneath that bottom rope temporarily, trying to catch a breather. Probably for the best. In a stage like this, you want to try and get as much of a break as you can. Look at this now. Turning the kick there into the chest of Alexa Bliss, but Bliss is not hanging back. An opportunity at Asuka. And of course that Raw Women's Championship, more importantly, up for grabs here. And you know all 3 women want it, but just which one wants it more? Dragon screw from Rosemary there, and Alexa Bliss feeling the pain of it, resorting to the bottom turnbuckle. They're just sitting there and recovering for the moment, it seems. Rosemary eliminates Natalya. And we are down to 2. Rosemary versus Alexa Bliss here for the opportunity at Asuka. And Rosemary could just be moments away from getting her sweet, sweet revenge and getting one step closer to her hands on that title. What a counter there by Rosemary as well. Leaping so far over Alexa Bliss, but Bliss just responding there with a disrespectful slap in the back of the head. Rosemary, though, she might be looking to end things here. Perching Bliss up against those ropes. What will she go for here? She's going to try and force her over that top rope again. Didn't work the last time. Could it work again here with the opportunity at Armageddon? Bliss hanging onto that bottom rope, and she is gone! Rosemary's done it! Your #1 contender for the Raw Women's Championship. It is Rosemary. And there you have it. The rematch from No Way Out is sealed. Asuka versus Rosemary. 1-on-1 at Armageddon. Oh, that is going to be a very interesting one indeed. The event where Rosemary won the title. Could she capture it back a year later? We'll find out in just over a week. Asuka better be ready for her again. Nevertheless, it is time for our main event of the evening. And this one's going to be a good one as well. As I said, looking to bounce back from last week's defeat is Lars Sullivan. Will he do that here tonight when he goes one-on-one with the World Heavyweight Champion in Sting? 2 weeks ago, beaten by Punk. Survivor Series lost his US title to Hiroki Goto. Lars Sullivan is a freak, not on a leash. That's for certain. But a freak who is missing what made him deserve that name. That's for certain. Sullivan heads towards this ring knowing that he can really cement his name here on Monday Night Raw with a win over the World Heavyweight Champion. It is not something that has been done outside of Brock Lesnar since Sting returned to this universe just before No Way Out. Could Lars Sullivan add himself to that list? The last time Sting was in ring action, he lost to Brock Lesnar. Could that still be playing and plaguing Sting's mind? Only time will tell, and only this match will tell as well. Sting, of course, needs a very important victory heading into this match, heading into Armageddon, where he squares off against the ace Hiroshi Tanahashi. 2 very undefeated streaks on the line. That's for certain. As Sullivan stands in the ring, though, you hear the crowd roar to their feet for the World Heavyweight Champion. Sting, of course, has said that when he loses that belt, it is game over for him. He retires from this universe. He calls it done. And could it be a very respectful way to end his career in Hiroshi Tanahashi next weekend? Is Tanahashi going to be the one to end Sting's career? If it is, I think that's a perfect fit. 2 leaders, 2 courageous, admirable, and 2 guys who you can look up to squaring off. And if Tanahashi is the one to end it, I think that's an incredible thing to witness. Sting still looking the same as he did at Survivor Series, the red of Raw on his face and in his attire as well. Sting showing where his allegiance lies, where his blood lies as well, as we saw at Survivor Series, and that is to Monday Night Raw. And it will always be to Monday Night Raw as well. That much he has proven is for certain. We're ready to go here, though, in our big main event. I'm excited for it. Sullivan, you know, he's not excited, but he is just ready, is Lars Sullivan. And let's see how that'll pan out here. You can already hear this place cheering on Sting. They want to see the Stinger pick up a big win. And of course, why wouldn't you? Sting picking up a win heading into Armageddon to get some steam heading into there and really give Hiroshi Tanahashi the reminder, you may be the #1 contender, you may have won at Survivor Series, but Sting is still the World Heavyweight Champion for a reason. Tanahashi's got to be the one to take it away from him. Neckbreaker there by Sting. First big move of the match, or first impactful move of the match rather. I wonder if there is a mentality within Sting of frustration, you know, that loss at Survivor Series to Brock Lesnar. Has that plagued on Sting's mind over these last few weeks? Has that frustrated the Stinger at all? We're going to find out in this match, but that is a very incredible feat of strength there from Sting. That is not an easy thing to pull off at all, but he made it look very easy indeed. Sullivan, though, able to respond and fight back almost right away. Back suplex, down on the ribs of Sting there. And they were beaten up by Brock Lesnar at Survivor Series. 15 German suplexes. 2 F5s. Sting's ribs were, well, they had endured a punishment. There's no other word for it. Right now, though, Sullivan trying to focus on getting on the offense here. Sting doing a great job of stopping him. And speaking of ribs, well, you know, the groin is more so where Sting is affecting here. 3 atomic drops in quick succession of one another, with a little break in between them. Look at how Sting is just manhandling Sullivan here, though. All-encompassing in control right now, but Sullivan hitting big moves, and that could almost give Sting PTSD. That German suplex there, cover by Sullivan, made, and Sting kicking out right away. And getting up to his feet pretty quickly as well. Good counter there, though, by Sullivan. You know, I don't think Sullivan main evented Raw as the United States Champion. But oddly, since losing it, he's main evented the last 2 out of 3 Raws. Just a little interesting thing to take note of. However, the United States champion Hiroki Goto did main event last week's Raw. So there you go. Nice elbow drop there though by Sting. Really back and forth between these two guys right now. Sting is hitting bigger moves though, I would argue. Sullivan though, perhaps hitting... Well no, Sting might be hitting more moves, but Sullivan might be hitting the more powerful ones. Let's see what the Freak has in mind here for Sting. Perching him up on that top rope. A very dangerous place to be, no doubt about it. He's just going to throw him. He is just throwing him off that top rope. No remorse shown there by Lars Sullivan whatsoever. Sting in though, able to counter. Has Sullivan in that turnbuckle now. Can the world champ take control of it? We're about to find out. Indeed, he will do. Snake eyes to Sullivan. You know, if he wanted to bounce back from 2 weeks ago from that loss to CM Punk, even as far back as Survivor Series as well, he's not doing a good job of it right now. But then again, when you're in the ring with a World Heavyweight Champion, you shouldn't expect it to be plain sailing either. Sting feeling pretty confident right now, has to be said. And he has every right to be. The Freak isn't exactly doing much against him right now. STO though by Sullivan, and Sting goes down. Wait a minute. Wait a minute. Sullivan going up to that top rope. He's oh so dangerous up here. Headbutt from Sullivan! Headbutt from Sullivan, and oh my goodness! Sullivan's in! Freak accident! Cover made! Is it over? No! The Stinger kicks at it too. The world champ keeps things alive for him. But Sullivan really had his number right there. I think Sting was not anticipating that, and now he's got to really just string together a fight back here. Sting's on the back foot now. Now is not the time to dawdle. Now is the time to try and end things. Sullivan given time and free rein to get up to his feet, but Sting, that may have been what he wanted to let him do. Sting! Tombstone on Sullivan. And this could do it. Sting could have it won right now. Scorpion Death Drop. Lars Sullivan had absolutely nowhere to go but down. And the Stinger may have just knocked off the Freak in the main event. There's one, there's two. Sullivan kicks out at two. Sting can hardly believe it, but he ain't letting up. Look at this. No way is Sting letting up. He is more than fired up now. Trio of clotheslines. Sullivan in the turnbuckle. Stinger splash. But Sting hasn't ended it yet. Side headlock on Sullivan now. I think he's trying to tire out the Freak before he hits that second Scorpion Death Drop. And that's why Sullivan in with a counter right there. And a clothesline brings Sting back down. The Freak is still alive. Sullivan is still hanging in this one somehow over the world champion. He's not out of it yet. He is not out of the fight just yet. Sting knees him in the gut. What a leaping DDT from the Stinger. And that could have been what put Sullivan out of this fight. And this will end the fight. Scorpion Death Drop. The blood starting to drip from Sullivan's face. But I think another defeat is coming Sullivan's way. Sting beats Sullivan. What a main event that was. What a main event that was. Sting had to fight for victory there. No doubt about it. And oh, look at this. The ace is hitting the ring. Tanahashi walking into the ring to stand face to face with the man he faces at Armageddon. What a sight this is to close out this episode of Raw. Two aces meeting at Armageddon. Which one leaves with the gold?